Hello, and welcome to Khyber Shards, a 5th edition actual play show set in the Eberron campaign world. It's Friday, so we have a Khyber Shards Answers, and we are joined by Casey. Hooray!
Hello.
Hi, Casey.
Hello, Philip.
Before we get into our questions, I want to remind everyone we are still working our subscription push. We are going to be giving away this wonderful handmade leather dice bag by the Lazy Fox Creates when we reach 100 subscriptions on the YouTube channel. So hit the YouTube channel, go to whatever roommate or family member you live with who never logs out of their Google account, subscribe them to the YouTube channel, all the things. But for now, we have a few questions for Casey and Shade, and I think at least one for Nasaria. So let's dive into those. We're finally not quite so ridiculously far ahead of the viewers. I think we're only 3 episodes ahead of the viewers now, which is a lot better than when we were 6 or 8 episodes ahead of the viewers in terms of trying to answer these questions. So hopefully this is a little bit easier now. We begin with Mia, whose question is for Casey. What is it like to play and record now that you have a little one? Obviously there's a distraction factor, but are there any other differences that you hadn't expected?
Recording with a little one is vastly different than I had expected. He sleeps a lot. And so I thought it would be great. He'll go down for a nap. We'll knock out some episodes. The end. Parenting's so easy. And he doesn't tend to nap at nighttime, which is when we can record because that's when everybody is available. And nighttime is when he likes to eat every 30 minutes to an hour, where he wants to be held a lot more. And so the distraction component, Mia, that you mentioned is 100 times what I was anticipating it being. And then on top of that, I knew he was going to be distracting in that he will need to be fed and his needs will need to be cared for. But I had not anticipated the half of my brain that is always checking in on him.
Yeah.
They're just there's a large part of me now that even if he's sleeping is he breathing? Is he okay? Where is he? You put him in a safe spot. And I hadn't anticipated that. In fact, I don't know if she told you, but I texted your wife either the night of our first recording or the day after and talked with her about it being significantly harder than I had anticipated. Viewers, for those of you that don't know, the episode this week was my first, RA and I, our first time back recording after having a son. And, well, I think it's a great example. Shade's dress. Philip, as the DM, you had told us you're going to a masquerade. What do you want to wear? Like, you can think about this. And I had planned out an outfit for Shade. I could describe it. I pictured it in my head. Interestingly enough, blue with sleeves was not actually the one I had designed. So,
do you remember what you had designed?
I do. It was, think 90s slip dress, but with leaf embroidery, vines down the sides. She would pick something that was simple, but I wanted to, because I had thought about this, I wanted to emphasize Ari's influence on Shade, that Ari and Ezri, they like nice things and they have good taste, and Shade doesn't. And I thought this combination of her having a simple dress combined with these beautiful elements of embroidery showed that her taste was elevated slightly. It was increasing because of their influence on her. But no, in the show, what I said was blue, and it had sleeves, but I had not pictured it with sleeves at all. Although the peacock feathers was in the moment decision. And I liked that. I liked that better than...
Yeah, that was a good touch.
I was very happy with that. So it was originally green, which is what I do normally. And Esri also green is his. And so I was happy with the blue and I was happy with the peacock feathers, but I was completely dissatisfied with my lack of communication in what the dress looked like and why that mattered. But in the moment it was, oh, dress kid. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, I absolutely remember just being constantly like, and when our daughter moved in with us, she was much more able to keep herself from harm than an infant. Like she was 7, so it wasn't this constant worry about her physical safety. But even so, it was like, I'm out of the room. What's happening in the other room? What's happening in the other room with her? Is she doing anything? Is anything happening? What's going on? Like, yeah, I totally remember the just constant half of my brain that was where's the child? Where's the child? Oh, okay, there's the child.
That was new and unexpected for me. So parents, y'all are awesome. And then
I don't know what this
so that's just the
distraction.
distraction.
You're one of them now.
I know, but it feels very vain to like look at myself in the camera and be like, you rock. The planning, just we record in our home, and so I wasn't anticipating the level of planning to be able to sit down and record. But he eats a lot in the evening, so making sure that he ate right before we record so that at least we have a little bit of time to get started. And then y'all are so accommodating. And so when I need to nurse or change him or check on him, y'all have been nothing but kind about me needing to pause. But the break that gives in the momentum of the story and the character moments has been hard too. Because there's these really beautiful moments, and especially in some of the scenes, the chaos that ensues, that build up is so exciting. And then to just be like, excuse me while I go pat the back of an infant.
Right.
ruins that momentum. That's repetitive, but it's the right word. So
yeah. And when we were together the other night, RA was joking that there's got to be some kind of way of branding this as we are the most actual play. We've got our kids in the room, got dogs and cats in the room, everything's happening. There's workmen on the other end of your house. Like, it's just
right. Moving boxes packed.
This is the real experience. We're playing D&D no matter what's happening.
That's right. It's a part of life.
It is just a part of life. And I'm super glad that we were able to play distractions and all. And I think the episode turned out nice. So I don't think it messed up the episode in any way.
The viewers do not appreciate your editing skills in that. Y'all, the number of times that I stopped. Yes.
Yeah. Well, okay. It's gotten progressively better every time we've recorded since then, because the first time we recorded, we got one episode in 3 hours. And the second time it was down to about 2 hours and we still got one episode. But then the third time we got 2 episodes in 3 hours. And that was, so I feel like it's just going to be finding a rhythm, and then that rhythm won't work because your kid will hit some sort of threshold at which their behavior changes entirely.
Right. Right.
And then we'll figure it out again. So it's, part of the fun.
It was very fun getting back to it. Like trying to juggle parenthood while playing, because playing games with our friends is an important part of our life that just is a large part of it. And so being able to start to see what that looks like and that it is something that we can do was really nice.
Yeah. Awesome. Emily has a question for Casey also. Casey, only answer if you're comfortable sharing medical details. How has recovery from your C-section been?
I am comfortable.
For the record, I asked if she was comfortable before we started recording, so, you know.
Right. I did have time to decide. But I'm an oversharer, so I'm very comfortable sharing. It's going really well. Surprisingly well. I had, for you at home, I had a scheduled C-section, so I knew exactly when and where to be for the delivery of my baby. I did not have labor or go through labor pains, and it was a very surreal experience to walk yourself into an operating room and then essentially be handed a baby, and then they wheel you out. It was surreal and smooth. Everything went really well, and healing has gone really well. I feel great. I feel like myself, which I didn't anticipate feeling like myself quite so quickly.
It's great.
But yeah. Friends help with that.
And Emily would also like to know, if Nasaria were to attend a masquerade ball, what outfit would she choose? Let's assume that she got an unlimited budget for her outfit, and while I trust her not to look into the loopholes given her personality, just in case, she can't spend the budget on anything other than looking nice.
She would want to be seen. And she comes from wealth, so she knows exactly what would be appropriate. So although Casey, the player, doesn't entirely, know the correct wear for masquerades, having, not regularly attended them, Nasaria would. I definitely see her in something that is gold trimmed, something that would definitely have sheen to it, but catch the attention. It would be very detailed. I think she would go lion for the mask. She would not straight lion, because that would be gaudy and tacky, but definitely organically designed mask, but an appropriate way to work in the gold of her outfit as well.
Of course, yeah. Nice. And what would Nasaria's favorite ice cream flavor be?
Oh, I did not think about this one. I am sorry. Oof. Dead space. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to think of a pretentious ice cream flavor. It would be some
like she doesn't
delicacy.
Do ice cream, only gelato.
Yes. She would not say no if it was offered, because that would be rude. But she would spend the time talking about the better gelato that she has had. Although this is acceptable. Right.
The history of gelato and
why
you can only
it's
get
better.
Real gelato from such and such a place. Nathan asks, how does Shade feel about being in Zilargo and about the trust? Shade
does not like being away from home. She is on this trip because Ezri was going to go on this trip, and Shade obviously wants everybody to stick together. I don't think I played it well, but there was in this last episode, what I was attempting to do was there was a boldness to Shade that is not normally there, particularly in social situations, a willingness to walk up to people and converse, and a willingness to walk up to Mina and Lucan. And a lot of that was driven by Shade is on a trip away from home, and Shade would 100% prefer to be at home. Her friends think this masquerade ball is a way to complete this quest. So let's do it. Fine. We'll go. We will be around people. She will talk to people if that's what we have to do. There are some strange people. Let's talk to them and get this over with. So she does not love being here, regardless of location. She definitely doesn't understand the trust, or how that works. If she did, she would feel terrible about it. Away from home and being watched.
Yeah. So for our non-Eberron viewers, basically Zilargo, and we didn't really get into this in a lot of detail in the episode and probably won't need to, but Zilargo is ruled by an organization called the Trust, which is basically an Orwellian police state. It's always watching everyone. And then the amusing twist about Zilargo is all the gnomes think it's great. Like, they think that it's absolutely fantastic that that this organization is keeping an eye on everyone. Practically all the gnomes willingly inform on one another to the Trust if they need to. Foreigners are watched very, very carefully, and there's basically no crime. It's just this great little cheerful dystopia in Zilargo. And I think that's hilarious, but that's the idea behind the Trust. But yeah, I mean, no, Shade probably wouldn't have any reason to have understood Zil politics for any reason. So
she definitely wouldn't have asked or pursued information in that.
Right.
Let's get in, get out.
Laura wants to know, what would both of us wear to a masquerade ball?
I immediately went silly.
That's all right.
I personally would absolutely go the red panda route. I just can see making that a cute little red panda mask. I would absolutely wear a red dress with my red panda mask, and that would make me so happy.
I think I would probably end up somewhere, just based on the way I tend to dress when I dress up. I would probably end up somewhere along the lines of what Ari wore. Dark colors, sort of traditional lines, something kind of military looking. I have a lot of jackets that look sort of kind of military-ish. So probably end up something like along the lines of what Eric described Ari as wearing. If the aesthetic is for some sort of animal mask, because that's where most of the party ended up being, then probably something bird of prey-esque in style, but again, not like direct, not in the sense of this is the face of a hawk or something like that, something suggestive of it rather than direct. I did have to make animal masks in theater for young audiences class in college. We had to do we were doing fairy tale sketches for elementary schools, and we made masks out of that. I can't remember what it's called, that heat sensitive material that you hit it with a heat gun and it becomes flexy, and it's kind of plasticky and woven almost like. But
that's really precious.
It was fun using the stuff and doing the play, but I had to make a big bad wolf mask, so I had to print it out on a form and mold the stuff onto a face, and that was unnerving, because you're like, is it too hot? Am I about to scald this person when I press it onto their face? Or yeah, but
what a cool skill, though. Mask making.
It was fun. Yes, it was fun to use. And that is all of our questions for this week. So this is going to be a quick one. But again, thank you all so much for the questions and for watching. If you would like to get in touch with us or submit questions for a later one, you can do that in the comments or over on our Discord. You can find a link to that down in the description, along with links to all of our other social media and to our coffee and our merch store and the Patreon and all the things down there in the description. A reminder to hit the subscribe button if you haven't. New episodes of Khyber Shards drop every Monday. New Khyber Shards answers every Friday. And until next time, thanks for rolling with us.